Breaking news: a major update has just emerged regarding the ongoing campaign to lower the state pension age to 60 and increase weekly payments to over £586.80. This is something that could potentially impact millions of people across the UK, especially those approaching retirement. Before we dive into this important update, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any critical developments about your benefits, pensions, and financial rights. The Department for Work and Pensions, commonly referred to as the DWP, has officially responded to growing public pressure calling for fundamental changes to the state pension system. With over 16,400 people already signing a petition hosted on the UK Parliament's website, the public demand for reform is becoming harder for policymakers to ignore. The petition calls for a universal state pension to be available from the age of 60 and proposes that it should be directly linked to working a 48-hour week at the national living wage. This would mean a pension of around £586.80 per week, translating to an annual income of roughly £30,476.16 for those eligible. This renewed push comes at a time when the government is already preparing to gradually raise the state pension age to 66 and eventually beyond. According to current legislation and government projections, many people will find themselves waiting up to an entire year longer before they can begin to claim their pension entitlements. This could potentially cost them over £12,800 in missed payments. For example, anyone born on or after April 6th 1960 will no longer receive their state pension at 66. Instead, they will face delays of up to 12 months, which represents a significant financial loss, especially during a time in life when regular income is more important than ever. The pushback from campaigners is understandable. People are concerned not only about the increasing pension age but also about whether the pension system remains fair, sustainable, and accessible to all. The petition highlights what it sees as a growing disparity in how the state pension is treated. It argues that government policy increasingly frames the state pension as a selective benefit, rather than a universal entitlement that should be available to everyone, including UK expatriates, from age 60 onwards. Linking the pension amount to the national living wage is intended to ensure that retirees can live with dignity, financial independence, and a reasonable quality of life, regardless of where they reside. In its official response, the DWP was quick to reiterate that there are currently no plans to lower the state pension age back to 60. The increase in pension age is not a new concept. It has been on the books since the Pensions Act of 1995, and successive governments have pushed the age higher in response to changing demographics and life expectancy. The rationale behind the policy, according to the government, is to ensure intergenerational fairness and maintain the long-term sustainability of public finances. As people are living longer and healthier lives, they argue, the pension system must adapt accordingly. However, this argument doesn't sit well with many members of the public, particularly those who may not be able to continue working into their late 60s due to health issues or physically demanding jobs. Paul Lewis, a respected financial expert, weighed in on the issue, explaining that the upcoming changes will disproportionately affect a specific group of individuals. Those born after April 6, 1960 will be hit hardest by the pension age increase, potentially losing thousands of pounds in retirement income due to the delayed start date. What makes this situation more frustrating for many is the lack of flexibility in the system. The age threshold applies universally, without accounting for individual circumstances like years worked, job type, or personal health. That said, the government maintains its commitment to the triple lock system, which is designed to ensure that state pensions increase each year in line with whichever is highest, inflation, average earnings, or 2.5%. This commitment, according to government forecasts, will result in around £31 billion more being spent on the state pension annually by the end of this parliamentary term, compared to the 2024-25 financial year. While this may be welcome news to current pensioners, it does little to address the frustrations of those still waiting to qualify or those who may never receive what they consider a fair return on decades of contributions. In addition to defending the age increase, the DWP pointed to a number of support schemes currently in place for older individuals. These include benefits for those with disabilities, the winter fuel payment to help with heating costs during the colder months, and pension credit aimed at supporting the most financially vulnerable pensioners. However, critics argue that these schemes often don't go far enough or are underutilized due to lack of awareness or complex eligibility requirements. What's also striking is the growing interest in making the state pension available to UK citizens living abroad. The petition makes a strong case that expatriates should not be excluded from receiving pensions, especially if they have spent their working lives paying into the UK system. At present, UK pensioners living in certain countries do not receive the annual increases provided by the triple lock, which can significantly erode the real value of their pension over time. The campaign calls for a universal approach age 60 eligibility for all, regardless of residency status. As the petition gains traction, there's increasing speculation about what could happen if it reaches 100,000 signatures. At that point, Parliament is obligated to consider the issue for a formal debate. Such a debate wouldn't guarantee immediate legislative change, but it would put significant pressure on MPs to publicly state their positions on the matter and could serve as a catalyst for broader pension reform discussions. Public pressure has influenced government policy in the past, and with enough momentum, campaigners hope to push the state pension system into a more equitable and sustainable future. The larger issue at stake here isn't just about one policy change, it's about the vision we have for retirement in the UK. Should retirement be a secure phase of life, where people who have contributed for decades can finally rest without financial anxiety? Or should it be an uphill battle against bureaucracy, rising living costs, and delayed benefits? That's the fundamental question this petition is raising, and it's why so many people are rallying behind it. What's also worth noting is the role of public dialogue in these issues. The more people who sign the petition, contact their MPs, or share information about their own experiences with the pension system, the more pressure there is on the government to respond. Whether you're approaching retirement age, have already retired, or are planning for the future, this issue affects us all. It speaks to the kind of social contract we want to have in the UK and how we value the contributions of older generations. If you believe in a fairer, more inclusive pension system, one that recognizes the value of all workers and provides genuine security in later life, then now is the time to get involved. Sign the petition if you haven't already, talk to your local representatives, and most importantly, stay informed. Reforms like this don't happen overnight, but they do start with public awareness and collective action. This campaign could change the retirement landscape for millions, offering earlier access to funds and a more dignified standard of living. But it can only move forward if people continue to raise their voices and demand better from those in power. Whether or not the petition reaches the debate threshold, it's already brought a vital conversation to the forefront, one that can't be ignored for much longer. And that's all for this critical update. If you found this information helpful or believe more people need to hear about these pension changes, then please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. We'll keep you updated with everything you need to know about pensions, benefits, and your financial rights. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and make sure to subscribe for more important updates that matter to your future.